ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सागरललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्ते। नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्पिता कृष्ण गोविंदाय ते नमः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी भानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण
माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। So which prayers we were doing? Anyone remember? It's been long time.
Shikshashtakam.
Prayers by demigods.
Yeah, that was last time.
Oh, before that.
Prayers by demigods.
Yes, prayers by demigods. Yes.
Did we finish Shikshashtakam last week, Mataji? I had to
Yeah.
leave a little early. Okay.
Yes, we finished because we had next day Gaur Purnima. That was the reason.
Okay.
We did Shikshashtakam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरु दीनदायनं। देव श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Very big purports today. Let's hopefully we'll finish. This is small. The next one is very big. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.34. So chapter 10, sorry, Canto 10, chapter 2, 34. So this was when, what was the occasion? When did this happen? Prayers by demigods?
When Krishna was in the womb of Mother Devaki.
Yes. When Lord was born or when Lord appeared, right? Because they explain about the transcendental features of the Lord also. So 10 to 34. Sattvam vishuddham shrayate bhavan. Sattvam vishuddham shrayate bhavan stitau shariranam shreya upayanam vapuhu veda kriya yoga tapas samadhibihi दावार्हणं yena janas samihate Sattvam Vishuddham Shayate Bhavan Stitau.
Sattvam Vishuddham Shayate Bhavan Stitau.
Sharirinam Shreya Upayanam Vapuhu.
Sharirinam Shreya Upayanam Vapuhu.
Veda Kriya Yoga Tapas Samadhibhihi.
Veda Kriya Yoga Tapas Samadhibhihi.
Tavarhanam Yena Janas Samihate.
Tavarhanam Yena Janas Samihate.
We'll read the translation.
Yeah, can I read, Mataji?
Yeah, yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord, during the time of maintenance, you manifest several incarnations, all with transcendental bodies beyond the material modes of nature. When you appear in this way, you bestow all good fortune upon the living entities by teaching them to perform Vedic activities such as ritualistic ceremonies, mystic yoga, austerities, penances, and ultimately samadhi, ecstatic absorption in thoughts of you. Thus, you are worshipped by the Vedic principles. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.3, Yajna Dana Tapaha Karma Natyajam. The Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, charity, austerity, and all such prescribed duties are never to be given up. Yajno Danam Tapaschaiva Pavanani Manishinam 18.5. Everyone who is very much advanced in spiritual realization must still execute the Vedic principles. Even in the lowest stage, the karmis are advised to work for the sake of Lord. Yajnarthat karma nonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. Bhagavad Gita 3.9. The words Yajnarthat Karmanaha indicate that while performing all kinds of duties, one should remember that these duties should be performed to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Swakarmana tam abhyarchya. According to Vedic principles, there must be divisions of human society. Chaturvarnya Maya Srashtam. There should be Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and everyone should learn to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tam Abhyarcha. This is real human society, and without this system, we are left with animal society. The modern activities of human society are described in Srimad Bhagavatam as the activities of Gokhara, cows and asses, Saeva Gokhara. Everyone is acting in a bodily concept of life involving society, friendship, and love for the improvement of economic and political conditions, and thus all activities are enacted in ignorance. The Supreme Personality therefore comes to teach us how to act according to the Vedic principles. In this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preached that in this age the Vedic activities cannot be systematically performed because people are so fallen. He gave this recommendation from the Shastras. Hare Nama Iva Kevalam Kalau Nastyeva Gatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore teaching people all over the world how to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and this has proved very much effective in all places at all times. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in order to teach us Vedic principles intended for understanding Him. Vedasya sarve rahameva vedya. We should always know that when Krishna and Lord Chaitanya appeared, they appeared in Shuddha Sattva bodies. One should not mistake the body of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be a material body like ours. For Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as needed for the benefit of the entire human society. Out of causeless mercy, the Lord appears in different ages in his original Shuddha Sattva transcendental body to elevate human society to the spiritual platform upon which they can truly benefit. Unfortunately, modern politicians and other leaders trust the bodily comforts of youth. Yasyatma buddhi kunapetri datake, and concentrate on the activities of thisism and thatism, which they describe in different kinds of flowery language. Essentially, such activities are the activities of animal. Saeva Gokara. We should learn how to act from Bhagavad Gita, which explains everything for human understanding. Thus, we can become happy even in this age of Kali. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So the translation. O Lord, during the time of maintenance, you manifest several incarnations, all with transcendental bodies beyond the material modes of nature. When you appear in this way, You bestow all good fortune upon the living entities by teaching them to perform Vedic activities such as ritualistic ceremonies, mystic yoga, austerities, penances, and ultimately samadhi. Aesthetic absorption in thoughts of you. Thus, you are worshipped by the Vedic principles. So, this explains in this verse, like how when the Lord comes in different incarnations, so based on the time, place, and circumstance, right? So he gives different methods of worshipping. We know like the in different incarnation has a different purpose. So it's not like same thing it will give. Like when Lord came as Kapila Muni, he gave the Sankhya philosophy, right? And Prabhupada speaks about another Kapila also, where that's a fake one, like who is not authentic, but the Kapila who is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, who is the son of Kardaba Muni, and Devahuti is the real. He's the expansion. Is actually the Lord Himself. So Krishna comes in like the different avatars. No, some he comes like Vishnu Tattva is there, and some complete like Lord Ram. He's Krishna himself. I mean the Lord Himself coming as in the as, his own form. But then in some avatars, he comes as a Sakshavesha avatar, like Prithu Maharaj, no? Prithu Maharaj and Kapila Muni, and they're like having the same potency of the Lord. So we can see Lord Prithu also worshipping the Krishna. This is like to set an example. So whenever at a different time when the Lord appears, he gives like different kind of thing. Like when like Lord Buddha came, because that time it was needed. Like people were very much into tamoguna and they were killing the innocent animals. To stop that, he had to stop. Though he is the one who gave the Vedas, he said that reject the Vedas when he came in the incarnation of Lord Buddha. But in the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 3, Krishna explains that when this world was created, after the world is created, the Lord gave the Vedas, right? We see the everyone remember the cycle of sacrifice, how it works. All of you have read, right? Cycle of sacrifice. Remember from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3. So no one remembers, or
Is that based on once we do yajna, the rain comes and then the crops grow
yes,
and then
that
we
is.
use? Okay.
Yes. So how does it start? So it starts with the scriptures. So the Lord created this world and then he introduced the Vedas. And Vedas, what does Vedas have? The scriptures have the prescribed duties for all the ashramas. No, Krishna, the Lord created the ashramas also, which is also very essential in a society. It cannot be like everybody are Brahminical nature. No? Everybody have a different based on their psychophysical nature. So this all is given by Lord in Bhagavad Gita. So there is a cycle. So it is said, Saha egnav prajasrishtva puro vacha prajapatihi anena prasavitye अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एष वोस्त्विष्टकामधुक् देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वः परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यत. So the Lord created all kind of living entities, which included even the higher and lower. Like in the sense, higher planetary system, there are devatas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and all the higher who are in better, little bit higher consciousness and who have done a pious activity, who are in higher planetary system. And in the lower planetary system, we see all the animalistic, or the people who have done more of sinful activities, or all like there are lower planetary. Total out of 14 planetary system, there are it is divided into upper, lower, and middle. Right? Where are we actually?
In the middle.
Yeah, in the middle. No, this Earth is in the middle. So, all the so these planetary system. So Krishna everywhere, like it is said that the Deva Bhaiva. So there is a mutual understanding between the Devatas, because whatever we do, it is mentioned in the chapter 3 that will go to some part will go to the demigods also. Actually, they are said to be the part and parcel. So for some different yagnas, like people satisfy different sacrifices to satisfy different demigods. But that is actually very difficult to satisfy all the demigods. So it is said like if we satisfy the Krishna, the Lord, if you water the root, then everybody else are also satisfied. So automatically they are satisfied. Just like when we give food to the stomach, all the limbs get energy. So similarly, when we give to Krishna or offer to Krishna, then everybody, all the devatas also get satisfied. It is said like that. So, and we have examples also like that, in like how when Daksha was performing yagna. So when Lord Vishnu was not there, so all the other devatas also they got up. No, nobody will be there. Or and even when Prithu Maharaj worshipped, he did yajna. So it is said when Supreme Lord is satisfied, all the devatas got satisfied. So it was mentioned. So there Krishna says like when the material world was created, so there should be a mutual coordination between all the living entities. So it is said that devatas, when we offered, so they are satisfied, and what they do, they gave us rain. So that is what it is mentioned there. And we should, whatever we prepare, or we have to offer to Krishna and then eat. So it is said that is a cycle. Cycle means like Shastras give us the regulative principles and how to do the devotional service and how to do the sacrifice. Then the human, they do sacrifices, and from sacrifice comes the rain, right? Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha. Yagnad bhavati parjanya yagna karma samudbhavaha. So from the rain again we can grow grains, no? And so all the necessities of man can Prabhupada says only for the basic foundation of human necessities are cow and land. If there is a cows and land, most of the all the needs are fulfilled. So that was the Vedic culture. So more importance was given to cow and land. We know, like even at time of like Krishna's time, they used to have 9 lakh cows, right? So they used to gauge the richness of a person by how many cows they had. But now it is not like that. No? We are actually lost. We are lost. So there then the rain comes, then grain, and then with that we prepare the food and we offer the same to the Lord, because through the Lord we got all this, so one has to follow this cycle. Only then everything happens at right time. So Prabhupada says, because we are not offering to Krishna anything, we are using most of the things. I mean, we are taking from Krishna, like even the material world, whatever we are taking, it belongs to the Mother Earth, or it is actual owner is the Krishna, right? So we are becoming the thieves, right? When we take that. So because of that, we are not getting proper rains, no? So, and people are suffering. All the suffering is because of there's no, the Lord is not being worshipped, or right? So it is said in Bhagavad Gita. So here also they are saying like, so Prabhupada is giving. So Krishna, when he comes in the different incarnations, so he teaches different Vedic activities. Like, no? So how he gave, even Bhagavad Gita was given just before this Kali Yuga start. So the Lord gave Bhagavad Gita, right? This knowledge was given to Arjuna, so that this is helpful for the people who will be, because after that, that time, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, almost the knowledge was completely lost. So Krishna says, no, in chapter 4, what was the need? This was again, this knowledge had to be given, because that knowledge was already lost. So it used to come from kings, right? From the Raja Rishis. Those times the Raja Rishis, and they will be like mostly God conscious people, and they'll be complete knowledge of Vedas and Shastras. They know complete the knowledge of our Shastras, so they know the ultimate goal of life. And only when a person who is in knowledge can take somebody, right? A blind man cannot take another blind man. So, but then only one who is having a proper eyesight, that person can take, and he can make sure that this person is not falling into some ditch. So similarly, we have to follow somebody who has the knowledge. So that's where we need a spiritual master, right? So because of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to get this access to this knowledge, and we are able to understand it. Otherwise, it's very difficult, because in society there is so much of speculations even about the Lord form. I mean, they even like we most of the society is like Nirakar. God does not have a form, or you are God, I am God, right? So that is what so much clearly it is said in Bhagavad Gita, but then people don't want to take it. Recently, I heard one of the so-called gurus who claim themselves as God. Okay, so there are people who believe, and the person himself calls himself as God. So to avoid all this, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that Kali Yuga is full of such faulty people and all. So who themselves they want to cheat people and call themselves as God. So Lord Chaitanya, when Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never revealed himself as God. Though only to very confidential devotees, he has showed his form, as Shadbujja form also he has shown, and Radha Krishna form also he has shown. But he never, in the public, he never showed to anyone. And what are the symptoms? How do we know that who is real God, or how can we know if somebody claims themselves as God? What can we question them? What is the proof? Or how will you say some fake gurus, they may tell you that he's the God. It is everybody has different faith. So if you are believing Krishna as God, I believe this person as God. So how can we defeat them? What kind of
Mataji, he
arguments
has
you
to
can
show
give?
the universal form of the Lord.
Yes. So we can ask, no, that is very nice. So how can somebody, if he's claiming as God, he has to show the universal form. Nice. Yeah. Other answer? What are the other ways? One is
The
a universal form.
the
Yes.
symbols on the feet.
Yes. Very nice. So yes, in last class also we saw like how even for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were symbols on the feet. So like lotus flower, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, all these are there, and many other symbols are there. So which shows that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. Nice. So what is the next? What are the other things? One
It
very
should be
important
it
thing is
it
there.
should be listed in the scripture.
Yes, this is the most important thing. Yes. So is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu name listed in the scriptures?
Yes, Mataji.
His parents' name listed?
Yep.
Yes. So his name is listed, his parents' names are listed, and his place where he is born, that is also listed, and which day he is born. Everything is there in the scriptures. This shows the authentication. Like if somebody is Prabhuji?
Mataji, this parampara system also gives the details of.
Yes, parampara. So all this name is one should have a parampara also. Yes, nice, good point. So all this, so this has to be in scripture, and if somebody is claiming themselves as God, then they have to be, my name should be mentioned in the scripture, and then there is a parampara system. If somebody is saying, because many times it happens like from somewhere some guru existed, and then he has his own followers, but then there is no parampara attached. So there should be a bona fide parampara, right? So, what is our parampara? What is the name of our parampara? We belong to,
Brahma
we follow,
Gaudiya
Brahma
Vaishnava
Gaudiya.
Madhava.
yeah, Brahma
Madhava.
Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? Okay. So these are the things how we know. And also when Krishna comes, he comes with transcendental body. It's not ordinary body. So if somebody is having pain, suffering with all the, like, see, we are conditioned soul. Our body is subject to all the things, no? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. We are going to get old, we are going to get disease, and we are going to die. All this happens. But it doesn't happen in the case of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna appears and he disappears. Prabhupada says he's just like a sun. Sun, if just because he rises in the eastern horizon, it doesn't mean that the sun is the east, that side is the parent of the sun. It's not like that. He appears, he's always there, but he appears there and then he disappears. So similarly, Krishna also, he is always there. He's eternally existing everywhere, but then he appears out of his mercy, no, because of the pure devotees call. Krishna comes to this material world and he performed the pastimes, right? So that too extraordinary pastimes. If somebody is claiming that they are God, so what are the pastimes? There's no such pastimes, no. Doing something mystic yoga, or Prabhupada says there are many people who does that Ashtanga yoga and all that they so Ashtasiddhi they'll have, but that does not make them God. That can be had. Even Kardava Muni, he had he was a great rishi, but he was not God. He had all the opulences. He was able to, with mantra, he was able to create a big palace, which was which was like a city in itself, and he carried his wife to all the planets, to show and all that. So that was his strength. So such yogis we had, and now what, in Kali Yuga, very small thing, like even magicians do some magic. They do, and they will claim themselves as God. And there are people who believe also. What to do? We can't do anything. Krishna knows all this. He says in chapter 7. No. So Arjuna asked Krishna that what is the faith of people who worship, like they worship something, but it is not in Shastras, right? This is the exact thing which is happening in Kali Yuga. So Krishna says, yes, there are three types of faith. So faith in mode of goodness, faith in mode of Rajoguna, and then Tamoguna. So Satvaguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So goodness, passion and ignorance. So when people are worshipping something which is not in scriptures, but on their own, whimsically, then that is in Tamoguna, right? So we see all this. So it's happening. So that is why Lord Krishna, when he comes, he gives all the perfect thing to be done. So actually these Vedic activities, that end goal also, even in the Vedas, is to know the Lord. And but then Vedas, most of the case, because the people, because as per the mentality of people has been given. So people wanted dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Why do they do this religious activity, dharma? So that some desires, that kama is the desire can be fulfilled. So I follow some certain kind of ritual practice and all that, so that my desires get fulfilled. Then what happened? Dharma, artha. No, so I get second is artha. So I get artha, money. So I need money, and then what I'll do with money? I'll satisfy my desires. So after satisfying desires and going on, life after life, taking many births, one day the person will feel very fed up after all that. So what is this happening? This is a cycle, whimsical cycle. Like there is no end for it. They get tired, and then finally he give up, and then he wants now moksha or salvation. That is the dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. That is what the Vedic Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nisraigunyo Bhavarjuna. But Krishna says, Arjuna, you have to rise above all this, right? Above, because Krishna wants us to come to Shuddha Sattva Guna. Not because, why? Because even all the heavenly planet also, again, one has to come back again to this material world. So there's no way. So, and then here, whatever activities is performed, it is said that it has to be for the Lord. Otherwise, it will be binding in this material world. See, Yagnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha means work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one in material world. So to perform activity, so everybody of us, like Bhagavad Gita explains that there are two kind of dharma for every person. No, one is the swadharma. Swadharma means so whatever based on, like if you are a kshatriya, you have some activities to be performed as a brahmana or vaishya and shudra. So those activities, or you are a grihastha, you have certain activity. But then there is dharma for the soul also, right? So then the soul, so that the dharma of a soul is to be in, like, to serve the Lord and to be united in the terms like what does Krishna instructions are there, and to be in line with that, right? That is the dharma of the soul. And even while doing the other activities also, he has to be in line with the instructions of the Lord, right? Krishna has done the 4 varna and ashramas, and everybody in any ashrama can be happy by satisfying the Lord in their being in their position, right? So here it is said swakarmana tam abhyarchya, whatever they are doing, but by giving the result of the activity to the Lord, one can be happy, it is said here. All right. So, so this basically this, and here we see that, so this verse, basically what we see, so Krishna comes in different incarnations and gives different methods of sacrifices. And for Kali Yuga, the recommended, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who has come in Kali Yuga and who has given the Harinam. So which is the easiest form, because the Vedas and all, we are not so qualified to chant them. And this is the easier one. Even he set an example when he, a Mayavadi, like he asked him, like Prakashananda Saraswati also, and even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I think, before he became a devotee, like when he asked, like, why are you chanting all the time? No, chanting, you have to study the Vedas. Then what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say to that?
My spiritual master said that I'm a fool and all I need to do is just to chant the name of Lord.
So he was not actually, he was not a fool, because we know, like, he was a supreme personality of Godhead himself. And at the age of 7, he had mastered the grammar, and a very great, Keshav Kashmiri Pandit, he defeated him also. He was just a small child that time. So he had so much of knowledge, but then after he took initiation, he completely changed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu changed after he meet his spiritual master, to show that so these things are not required for Kali Yuga. So one has to simply take into the chanting of holy name. So how many rounds is recommended for us by Srila Prabhupada?
16.
16, Mataji. 16.
Yes. So 16, right? So at least 16 rounds we have to, anyway, we have to do it. Whether you like it, you don't like it, because we don't leave our lunch, dinner, right? So similarly, we can't give excuses. We never give excuse for that. We have somehow we make time and we eat. So similarly, Prabhupada says, if we don't chant 16 rounds, we should not sleep that day. So we should not. We should be serious. At least whatever Prabhupada has given, that, because earlier it was not like that, right? I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time, like all Goswamis, they were all the time they used to chant and like n number of rounds. There was no limit, hundreds of rounds. But we are not like that. And later, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada also gave 64 rounds. But Prabhupada had given initially 32 rounds in West. And then he saw that they were finding very difficult to cope up. They were like a whole day they were doing that and they were not able to do any activity. And Prabhupada says, okay, I give you 16, not less than. You have to do it. So this is the, for Kali Yuga, the sacrifices. So this Harinam Sankirtan. So even Bhagavad Gita also confirms, Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi. Krishna says that in Yagnas, I am Japa Yagnas. So apart from that, whatever we do, then here it is said like, Saeva Gokara means, so there are prescribed duties and this religion, all this is the religion. Krishna has given this for the human beings only. So religions is not for animals, right? So if somebody is not able to follow the religion, so then it is said that he is like equal to Gokara, means eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. If these only 4 activities a person is doing, then Shastra says he's no more than an animal. So we'll go to the next verse. Right. 10.2.35. Sattvam na chedataridam nijam bhaved vijnanam ajnana vidapamarjanam majanam guna prakashair anumiyate bhavan prakashate yasya cha yena va gunaha. Sattvam na chedataridam nijam bhaved.
Tvam na chedateridam nijam bhavet.
Nijam bhavate.
Vijnanam ajnana vidapamarjanam.
Vijnanam ajnana vidapamarjanam.
Guna prakasher anumiyate bhavan.
Guna
Guna
prakasher
prakasher anumiyate bhavan.
Prakashate yasya cha yena va gunaha.
Prakashate yasya cha yena va gunaha.
Murulidan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, maybe you can read some 2 paragraph and then somebody else because it's very long.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Translation. O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Purport. It is said, Trayaguna Vishaya Veda Nistraya Gunya Bhava Arjuna. Unless one is situated in transcendence, one cannot understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.29, Athapi te deva padambuja devdvaya prasada leshanugrahita evahi janati tatvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya eko api chiram vishinnam. Only by the mercy of the Lord Supreme of Personality of only by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead one can understand Him. Those who are in the modes of material nature, although speculating for thousands of years, cannot understand Him. The Lord has innumerable forms. Ramadi Murtisu Kala Niyamena Istam. And unless these forms such as Lord Ramachandra, Narasimhadeva, Krishna and Balarama were transcendental, how could they be worshipped by devotees since time immemorial? Bhaktya mama abhijanati yavan yashmi tatvata. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Devotees who awaken their transcendental nature in the presence of the Lord and who follow the rules and regulations of devotional service can understand Lord Krishna, Lord Ramchandra, and other incarnations who are not of this material world but who come from the spiritual world for the benefit of people in general. If one does not take to this process, one imagines or manufactures some form of God according to material qualities and can never awaken a real understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Bhaktya Mama Bijanati Yavan Yash Tashmi Tattva signifies that unless one worships the Lord according to the regulative devotional principles, one cannot awaken the transcendental nature. Deity worship, even in the absence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, awakens the transcendental nature of the devotee, who thus becomes increasingly attached to the Lord's lotus feet. The appearance of Krishna is the answer to all imaginative iconography of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone imagines the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his mode of material nature. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that Lord is the oldest person. Therefore, a section of religionists imagine that God must be very old, and therefore they depict a form of the Lord like a very old man. But in the same Brahma Samhita, that is contradicted. Although he is the oldest of all living entities, he has his eternal form as a fresh youth. The exact words used in this connection in the Srimad Bhagavatam are Vijayanam, Ajnana, Vidapa, Amra, Arjanam. Vijnana means transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Personality. Vijnana is also experience knowledge. Transcendental knowledge has to be accepted by the descending process of disciplic succession as Brahma presents the knowledge of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is Vijnana as realized by Brahma's transcendental experience, and in that way he presented the form and the pastimes of Krishna in the transcendental abode. Ajnana Bida means that one can match all kinds of speculation. In ignorance, people are imagining the form of the Lord. Sometimes he has no form and sometimes he has form, according to their different imaginations. But the presentation of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita is Vijnana, scientific, experience knowledge given by Lord Brahma and accepted by Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt about it. Sri Krishna's form, Sri Krishna's flute, Sri Krishna's color, everything is reality. Here it is said that this Vijnanam is also defeating all kinds of speculative knowledge. Therefore, the demigods prayed, without your appearing as Krishna, as you are neither Ajnana, Vida, the nuisance of speculative knowledge, or Vijnanam would be realized. Ajnana, Vida, Para, Janam, by your appearance, the speculative knowledge of ignorance will be vanquished, and the real experience knowledge of authorities like Lord Brahma will be established. Men influenced by the three modes of material nature imagine their own God according to the modes of material nature. In this way, God is presented in various ways, but your appearance will establish what the real form of God is. Will I continue?
Okay, who will continue?
The highest blunder committed by the impersonalist is yes, Mother.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Who will read from here? The highest blunder.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. The highest blunder committed by the impersonalist is to think that when the incarnation of God comes, he accepts a form of matter in the mode of goodness. Actually, the form of Krishna or Narayana is transcendental to any material idea. Even the greatest impersonalist, Shankaracharya, has admitted Narayana Paro Avyaktat. The material creation is caused by the Avyakta, the impersonal manifestation of matter, or the non phenomenal total reservoir of matter. and Krishna is transcendental to that material conception. This is expressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Shuddha Sattva or transcendental. The Lord does not belong to the material mode of goodness, for he is above the position of material goodness. He belongs to the transcendental, eternal status of bliss and knowledge. Dear Lord, the demigods prayed, when you appear in your different incarnations, you take different names and forms according to different situations. Lord Krishna is your name because you are all attractive. You are called Shama Sundara because of your transcendental beauty. Shama means blackish, yet they say that you are more beautiful than thousands of cupids. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya. Although you appear in a color which is compared to that of a blackish cloud, you are the transcendental absolute, and therefore your beauty is many times more attractive than the delicate body of Cupid. Sometimes you are called Giridhari because you lifted the hill known as Govardhan. You are sometimes called Nanda Nandana or Vasudeva or Devaki Nandana because you appear as the son of Maharaj Nanda or Devaki or Vasudev. Impersonalists think that your many names or forms are according to a particular type of work and quality because they accept you from the position of a material observer. Our dear Lord, the way of understanding is not to study your absolute nature, form, and activities by mental speculation. One must engage himself in devotional service. Then one can understand your absolute nature and your transcendental form, name, and quality. Actually, only a person who has a little taste for the service of your lotus feet can understand your transcendental nature or form and quality. Others may go on speculating for millions of years, but it is not possible for them to understand even a single part of your actual position. Uh, in other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna cannot be understood by the non devotees because there is a curtain of Yogamaya which covers Krishna's actual features. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.25, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. The Lord says, I am not exposed to anyone and everyone. When Krishna came, he was actually present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and everyone saw him. But not everyone could understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, everyone who died in his presence attained complete liberation from material bondage and was transferred to the spiritual world. Because foolish mudhas do not awaken their spiritual nature, they do not understand Krishna or Rama. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanu asritam. Even big academic scholars, not considering the endeavors of the acharyas who have recommended devotional service in many elaborate commentaries and notes, think that Krishna is fictitious. This is due to a lack of transcendental knowledge and a failure to awaken Krishna consciousness. One should have the common sense to ask why, if Krishna or Rama were fictitious, stalwart scholars like Sridhara Swami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Veera Raghava, Vijaya Dhwaja, Vallabhacharya, and many other recognized acharyas would have spent so much time to write about Krishna in notes and commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very elaborative Prabhupada has given. Translation. O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Because Krishna came to this material world in the transcendental form, we are able to make out that there is a difference between Lord's body and our body, right? So it is said Krishna's body, there is no difference between the body, intelligence, mind, and this soul, right? So, but everything is same for the Lord. But for us, it's all different, right? The soul is there, and again, it is covered by the subtle elements, which are false ego, mind, and intelligence. And then there is again coverage of gross body, which is made of 5 material elements. So these are makes us difference from the Lord, right? So Krishna speak about like 3 kind of people are there in the in this world. So basically, one are like eternally liberated people who are like Nitya Siddhas. They're always existing with the Lord in his eternal planets like Vaikuntha, Golok. Right? So all is there. They are always there in serving. And there are Nitya Baddhas who are like means eternally conditioned, means many lifetime we are taking birth in different species, and we are taking different bodies and having different kind of experience based on our desires, and many different planets, or we're going to different species, and we are all eternally conditioned. Most of the time we are coming back again and again. As we get special mercy and come into a shelter of a bona fide acharya, right? So this is going on. So there is another, Krishna says, apart from that, there is a one person who is Paramatma. So Krishna speaks in Purushottama Yoga in the chapter 15, right? Above that is the person, so who is the Lord himself. So who is celebrated and who is worshipped in all the 3 worlds and in the Vedas. No? Krishna says, so that person, one should try to understand him. Who is the cause of everything? Cause of this material world, right? Everything, the spiritual world and material world. So spiritual world eternally exists, but the material world is a manifestation, and it keeps on. You know? There's a 2 kind of annihilation happens. So one is the partial annihilation, which happens at the end of Brahma's day. So that is called 1 kalpa. No? And that is also so big. 4.32 billion years is Brahma's one day. Can't imagine, right? Thousands of cycles, right? The 4 yugas into 1,000 cycles is Brahma's one day. And such Brahma lives for 100 years. So, and then when 100 years complete, so then the complete devastation happens. So it said, like when the partial devastation happened, mostly all the lower planets, everything will go, including Earth. But then only the higher planets will stay in the partial devastation. Then when the complete devastation happens of the complete cosmic universe, then everything will, even Lord Brahma also, he will go back to Krishna. So that is the, so these things are planned by Lord, and it keeps on happening. So all these things actually we cannot understand. These are all transcendental. Means one will get a faith also by mercy only. If somebody is not getting a faith also, that means that person still don't have a mercy. The mercy. So chapter 7, Krishna speaks that there are 2 kinds of knowledge. One is the knowledge, and which is which we also like. Currently we are having the knowledge, like Bhagavad Gita is saying this, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We have to do this. These are the devotional activities. So what will happen if we do? We develop relationship with the Lord, and then the ultimate aim is to go back to Godhead. But then there is something realized knowledge. So realized knowledge means they have already the person who has already realized that knowledge, who is in complete conviction what is what, and he lives his life accordingly, right? So like our Goswamis. So these happen. Realized knowledge comes only by mercy of the Lord. So just like example in Bhagavad in chapter 11, when Arjuna wanted to, like Krishna explains all the opulences in chapter 10, right? So after seeing all opulences, Arjuna wanted to see that. He says that I wanted to see in you all these opulence. Then Krishna shows him the universal form. But to show him, Krishna says that you cannot see me with your material eyes. No, I will divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yoga maishwaram. I will give you a divine eyes with which you can see this divine form. Only then, standing in the same place, just like behind Arjuna, Krishna, like Krishna was his parative and Arjuna was standing behind. From that place, he was seeing everything, all the top, upper planet, lower planet, everything he was able to see, the devatas, all different devatas, no? All in one place, and in Krishna, he was able to see and experience it. So how was that possible? Only by mercy of God, because he was given the divine eyes. So who else was given divine eyes? And
Sanjaya.
who gave him? Who gave him?
Vyasa.
Yeah. And why was it given?
So he could relay the message to Dhritarashtra.
Yeah.
Yes. So Dhritarashtra. So Vyasadeva's son Dhritarashtra, and Vyasadeva gave him, he wanted him to see what is happening in the battlefield. So that is why, because he was a disciple, Sanjaya was also a disciple and a minister to Dhritarashtra. So Vyasadeva gave him the divine eyes to see what is happening in the battlefield. So this was happened because of Krishna's mercy. So similarly, when we go to this dham, right? When we go to Vrindavan, at Mayapur, or Dwarka. So these dhams, when we go, with our material eyes, when we see, it looks same for us, just like any other place. And we are able to see all the fault of the people, of the place. It's because we are seeing it materially. But for the people, like the devotees or the exalted personalities, so who are like realized souls, like Prabhupada, Brahma Samhita says, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Bhajami. So when they're filled with love for Krishna in their heart and minds, so they are all the time 24/7, and they are able to see Krishna, and they cannot see the Vrindavan as a normal, ordinary place. They see that as eternal abode of Lord, like how Krishna always did. So one thing all of us agree, like if you have visited the Dham, one thing is that it reminds us most of the time about the Krishna, the Lord, because of everything is associated with Lord there. All the names, wherever you see, the names will be of Krishna and different names. And then you see the places of visit when we go also, everything is associated with the fasting of the Lord. So it is, that is why it is, the acharyas say, like to live in a dham, because it reminds you of the Lord all the time. But then when you have to make sure that we don't do any offenses, and we always follow as per the instruction, devotional service, whatever instructions is given, based on that, with the right consciousness, one should be there in the dham. Otherwise, then even the punishment also will be like that when we do offenses. So similarly, it will be more. Even how, like pious activity also, when you do little devotional service, it will be, you will get more credit. And it is said that Krishna is more reciprocative in dham, because he's there already, like he's personally there, but we cannot see that. So this can happen only if Krishna wants to reveal himself. Otherwise, it won't, right? Like even when Krishna wants, like how the realization comes by for the devotees who are there in Krishna conscious for a long time, because by they're doing service to the devotees of devotees, right? Gopi, Dasa Dasanu Dasa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I want to become the servant of gopis. So, like the servant mode, when they serve, so then that realization comes. So it is not like one can artificially we can develop the qualities of humility, pridelessness, or these things cannot come. How much ever we do, it will not go, because we can put a mask and act for some time, but then in certain situation that real nature may come out. So this can come by realization and by mercy of the Lord. So where, like Krishna says, so when no, the Bhagavad Gita, essence of Bhagavad Gita is said in 4 shlokas in chapter 10, right? So Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavah matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. So Krishna says, I am the controller and Ishvara, the Lord of all the universe. Everything happens by me. And when somebody knows this, understand that Krishna is the cause of all cause, then what he does, he engages in the devotional service. So then next sloka says, what happens after he engages in devotional service? Matchitta mattata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So the devotees are always engaged in discussing about the past tense of the Lord, or discussing about the Lord, his qualities, nama rupa, everything about his name. Everything, all the paraphernalia. So when devotees are always discussing about the Lord, and they're getting so much of satisfaction. Tushyanticha, Ramanticha. They're satisfied, and also they are enjoying that. They're getting that bliss because the soul is also Sachidananda. When we are connecting with Krishna, obviously that awakens the spiritual side. So that is why the people are so happy. We can see people are so blissful. Brahmabhuta prasannatma nashochati na kankshati. Right? So he never regrets about the past, nor he is anxiety. He is having any anxiety about future. So he is very happy. So, and then Krishna says in next verse, so Tesham satata yuktanam bhajata priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So one who is engaged in my service, I shall give necessary intelligence to come back to me. Right? Krishna says. And then he says, Tesham Teshamevanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavastah jnana deepena bhasvata. Yeah. So Krishna then says, and out of mercy, what I will do? I'll remove the ignorance and I will give the knowledge, right? So he will light, the light of knowledge will come from Krishna. And that is what even in Prabhupada explains here, that Krishna says, I don't reveal myself to everyone. He's covered by Yogamaya. Yogamaya covers him. Though when Krishna was personally present also, not everybody recognized Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some people thought they are ordinary, right? He's ordinary, outward born, not like. But then, yeah, the same feeling was there with Mother Yashoda and gopis also. No? They didn't know that Krishna was Lord. But then their pure love and devotion that attracted Krishna. So it is said Krishna is not attracted by sophisticated chanting of Vedas and mantras. But then very soon he get attracted towards with somebody, with love, somebody offers prayers. Or it is said in Dwarka, when Krishna came, so everybody were praising and they were Vedic mantras, chanting and all that. And they were ladies of Dwarka who were actually glorifying Krishna and talking about Krishna. So it is mentioned there for the Lord that was more pleasing to ears than hearing of this one, because they did with the pure heart and there was devotion and in so much of remembrance of him. So that is why Krishna is a person. If he is he don't have a form, he would not have any such feelings. But then Krishna is a person, he's a Bhavagrahi Janardana, we say, right? So he was loving that. That felt so pleasing than the Vedic mantras for him. So that is why Krishna says, I cannot be known by studying of Vedas or austerities or tapas. No? Naham Vedayana tapasa nada nena jaya shakya evam vido. You won't be able to see with these qualifications me, Arjuna, but only by bhaktyaatmananya shakyaha aham evam vido Arjuna. So you can enter my pastimes and you can see me, you can know me only by bhakti, by pure devotional service, and that by mercy of Guru and with this we end the class today. Thank you everyone for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhya krupa sindhubhya eva cha pitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Koti Vaishnav Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Three times Hare Krishna.
Nam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Anybody
Hare
wants to add anything?